Hello YouTube, and today we're going to discuss something that may sound a little strange to cover from a contractor standpoint, but I would like to just put a video out there just to educate homeowners and just the general public about how to protect yourself from a bad contractor. So me being a reputable contractor, I just want people to understand that there are guys out there that are looking to hurt you. There are bad guys out there, and not all of us are bad. A lot of contractors are good, reputable companies who want to do good work, but there are guys out there who are looking to scam. They're looking to take your money and run and beat you for everything that you'll give them. So a couple of ways to protect yourself is just by doing some simple research. It'll only take approximately 2 hours of work at the most to do this type of research. And I say this because I went to a customer's house one time to give them an estimate on a driveway. And they were also doing the roof at the time. They were doing some renovations to an older home. So what ended up happening was the roofing contractor, who was unlicensed, wanted 50% of the money 2 weeks before he began work. That, to me, that was a major red flag. And she gave him the money. And she didn't get a check, nothing signed, nothing written, and she hadn't heard back from him in over a month. So basically, I don't know how it ended panning out, because we had did the driveway, that roof was still not done. I have not spoken to her since, but I guarantee you, if I drive by that house today, that roof is either the same or it was done by another contractor and she never got her money back. So very important to know how to deal with the money and how to deal with contracts. First thing is, a contractor, a reputable contractor, has to be licensed from Consumer Affairs. Now that's a New York law. I don't know how laws vary from state to state, but essentially, just because you pick a licensed contractor does not necessarily mean they're licensed in the field of work that they do. And what I mean by that is, I went to Consumer Affairs to take my license exam. It's essentially a 20 or 25 question exam that I took in less than an hour, and it basically just covered contracts and maybe how to resolve a dispute without going to court. It really didn't cover the workmanship of what we do, and they don't even ask what you're majoring in. So my company is Coast Concrete Corp, so maybe they know through that we're a concrete outfit. But if you have a company that's just A+ house rebuilding or whatever their name is, you may not even know what they major in, and Consumer Affairs doesn't even ask. So just because they have a license doesn't mean that their work is great. All that kind of work comes from experience. So the part with the license is a little iffy. However, if they do have a license from Consumer Affairs, that means that they have proper general liability and workman's compensation insurance. Every year that has to be updated with new certificates. So that means that this company is paying at least $10, $15, $20, $30,000 a year to have liability and workman's compensation insurance, which is crucial to your job. Even though you're a homeowner and it's not required for you to have these certificates like a new construction builder, it's very important for you to know that your contractor is insured. You don't want to have an uninsured contractor. God forbid something happens, they're not covered, you're going to be on the hook. So the first thing is that I would look for is that they have a company name. Are they incorporated? Are they a sole proprietorship? Are they whatever type of LTD? Whatever they are, make sure that they do have a business. And if they do have a license, generally that means they do have a business. You have a home improvement salesperson and you have a home improvement contractor's license. They have to have both. I have a home improvement contractor salesperson's license that's given to my name, and my business has its own HIC license, which is a separate number, which stands for Home Improvement Contractor, HIC. So the first thing you want to do, now that you found a company that has a license that you now feel comfortable with, they're going to hand you a contract that's going to outline the work that they're going to do and how the payment schedule is going to be. Don't sign a contract that does not say what work will be done and how the payments will lay out. That could cause problems later on. All your payments should be performance-based. Don't do a day-by-day draw. Even if you have a very large project or if you're doing a major alteration on a home, everything is performance-based. For example, if you're redoing your roof, stripping the roof, you get X amount of dollars. You start to do the roof, you get X amount of dollars. When you finish the roof, you get the remainder of the money. A deposit generally should be 20 to 25% down. Some companies will require 50%. I require 25%. Again, that's kind of up to you in the field, but I would never give so much money in advance to a company that I did not know. Even if you know the company, even if you know the person for years, you never know what can happen. Strange things happen to people with money. The next thing I want to cover is make sure the license, the insurance, all match the contract with the company name on the contract. Some guys will do that they're covered by another company. However, if something happens on the job, you are not covered. That company that does have the license will walk away because they never signed a contract with you. So very important, the company name has to match the contract and the license for it to be 100% legitimate. That's for your protection. So now you get down to the contract. It outlines everything the company's going to do, and it's going to outline the payment schedule. So generally for me, for example, you give me a 25% deposit when I show up at your door. Then once the concrete is removed and everything is framed, I get another 20%. When the concrete truck pours the cement and we finish up, we get the rest of the money, which will be either 50% or a little more than that, whatever it is. And usually the homeowner will keep $100 or $200 of the price back until we strip the boards and we put the caulking or whatever else we have to clean up. And then I get the $200 in the very, very end. That's for concrete. I mean, other jobs will have different stipulations. The other thing is make sure the person who is the owner signs your contract. So the home improvement salesperson has to sign your contract. So whoever that is, if you ask to see the license of the home improvement salesperson, make sure that's the man or woman who's signing your contract. Otherwise, if it's signed by someone else, they might not be a director of the company and the company would not be responsible. It will make your contract null and void. It's like signing a contract with Joe Schmo. You don't want that to happen to you either. If you're going to pay in cash, when you give cash payments, make sure that they initial or sign that they received that cash. You would hate to give someone cash and at the end of the job, well, we didn't get any money, and then you go to court. How do you prove you gave it to them? So be wary of that. Make sure that you get everything in signatures. The unfortunate part of contracts when you hire someone, if they're not good or if something goes wrong, it's going to probably end up being resolved in court, which is going to be expensive for both parties. So make sure that if there is court or liens that are in the contract, like if a customer refuses to pay me, I reserve the right to lien and sue them. So just make sure that you have something that protects you, that if this work does not come out properly, or if the work was not completed, that you could take them to court and they'll be responsible. So it works both ways. You want the contract to protect you and the contractor. You don't want it to one side. So that's another video that I'll cover, contractors, how to write up your contracts and get them airtight. So you definitely want everyone to be protected. You want your customer to feel protected. You want the contractor to feel like he's comfortable with you. Now, unfortunately, there are going to be situations where maybe you don't meet eye to eye. If someone asks you to do extra work, let's say, it has to be outlined in the contract. There has to be a change order issued. And if money is going to change, or you scaled the job back, or you made the job bigger, how much more is it going to cost, and how is that payment going to work out? make sure that that all gets worked out as well in the change order. And that will be a whole separate contract from the original job. So essentially you'll have to sign multiple contracts if there are multiple change orders. So I know that that could be a little bit of a hassle, a little bit of pain in the butt, but you gotta do all this work. You've got to protect yourself. Otherwise, what's the point of even signing a contract or using a licensed contractor? Angie's List is a very good place to find people. Google is great. You could always look at Google reviews. If your contractor was very good, post a review. This way other people can see that they did good, you were happy, or maybe if you were unhappy, make sure you post reviews. It's very important. Help your fellow man out to see who's good and who's not. That's a very decent thing to do, and businesses would actually love it if you would do it. So keep all this in mind. Try to be very careful. All right, guys, I hope you have a good day.